Nesebar is one of the most ancient towns in Europe, founded more than 3,200 years ago. The antique Mesembria, called in the early Middle Age Mesembria and today Nesebar, was settled at the end of the Bronze Age by the Thracians. At the end of the 6th century before Christ, the first Greek colonizers of Dorian origin arrived in area. The town grew up quickly and turned it into a typical Greek polis. In the beginning of the 1st century, the town was included permanently in the borders of the Roman Empire. After the capital of the Roman Empire was moved to Constantinople and Christianity was adopted as the official religion, new Christian temples, basilicas, were built in Mesembria by leading architects and constructors of the empire on the analogy of those in the capital. During its existence, Nesebar is believed to have had 40 churches, and it's called by ours and foreign researchers the Bulgarian Ravenna. For its unique nature and many well-preserved monuments from different ages, on the 7th session of the World Heritage Committee in Florence, Italy, in 1993, the ancient Nesebar was included in the World Heritage List. Leventis Foundation funds the restoration, reconstruction and preservation of historical monuments from the Hellenic, Byzantine and Roman cultural heritage all over the world. Before directing its attention to the unique Nesebar, the foundation took up the complete restoration of the ossuary of Bachkovo Monastery and the partial reconstruction of the Odeon of the ancient Philippopolis. Later on, the foundation also carries out a restoration of St. Demetrius Church in Boboshevo. The partnership with Nesebar municipality begins after signing a joint venture agreement with the World Monument Fund, headquartered in New York, which stipulates the completion of the architectural reconstruction and preservation of the unique mural paintings of St. Stephen Church. After, there were few other joint projects with Nesebar municipality. For his action, the president of the foundation, Anastasios Paul Leventis, was awarded the title of Honorary Citizen of Nesebar. The ceremony took place in the Archaeological Museum. I would like to give to Mr. Paul Leventis the document with the decision of the City Council. As the mayor said, he is already our fellow citizen and is always welcome to come back home. Paul Leventis received the honorary collar and the key of Nesebar from the mayor Nikolai Dimitrov, as well as an honorary plaque for a donor and a painting of a landscape of Nesebar, so that he could remember the town when he's not around. Another present that he received was from the manager of the museum, Petya Kyashkina, the first copy of the newly published Guide of the Archaeological Museum of Nesebar. Its publishing is also being funded by the foundation.
Why do I dedicate so much time to this activity? Well, for two reasons. The first is that this is something which follows a fundamental focus, an activity of our foundation, And the second and more important reason is that this represents a deep-held belief that I have, that without our culture and history and without the ability and the means of seeing and recording what went before, no society can survive in its present state. To understand where we are now, we must understand the past. No society can flourish in the future if it does not understand where it comes from and what holds it together. And last but not least, of course, now that I'm a member, a citizen, an honorary citizen of this city, it is a great honor and pleasure for me to throw my weight, such as it is, behind the efforts of enlightened and intelligent and well-informed people of this city in preserving that very important heritage which they have.
Мисля, че не е нужно да казвам, че отговорността е голяма.
I think that there is no need to say that the responsibility is big, because we guarantee our authority to Leventis Foundation and we are aiming at following all the direction of the experts working for the foundation, so that our mutual understanding, support and cooperation can go on. Because nowadays donors for something like a cultural heritage are very rare. We have to protect this world heritage and to respect those who help for its preservation. We have double responsibilities because Nesebar is not only national but also World Heritage Site.
И нашите отговорности са двойни, защото Несебър, освен национално богатство, е и световно богатство.
Paul Leventis did not miss the opportunity to see the results of the restoration of the murals in the Church of Saint Stephen. He was accompanied by Professor Karalambos Bakirtsis, the expert of Leventis Foundation, Boris Hadjiev, the Bulgarian representative of Leventis, and Stefan Belishki, the president of the Bulgarian Committee of ICOMOS.
Църквата Свети Стефан
Saint Stephen Church is initially built in 11th century and had 3 naves and 3 apses. Later on in the 16th century it was widened to the west, when it was also wall-painted. Inside there are unique murals preserved from the 19th century. In the past 30 years, the church hasn't been restored, and its condition made it necessary for urgent measures for strengthening the construction to take place, as well as complete restoration of the murals. For 4 years, there's been a lot of work done. The project was finished in 2009, and on 11th of May, the church was officially consecrated, in the presence of the restorers, citizens of Nesebar and public figures. Now the church lives its second life.
Due to the many churches, Nesebar is an attractive destination not only for tourists looking for sun and sea, but also traveling around the world to feel the historical heritage and past. The Church of St. Stephen is one of the places which fascinates tourists from all over the world with its icons and frescoes.
It's a fascinating piece of history. The icons, the paintings are beautiful. They're very well preserved. And it's just a really unique and inspiring part of the world to visit.
Oh, I thought they were beautiful, and what I especially enjoy from our guide is learning about the history of the region, the church, and the individual paintings, what they mean and the style that they were painted in. It's beautiful. It's really, and unique. It's really beautiful.
The Bulgarian National Committee of International Council on Monuments and Sites made series of international and national projects in the field of preservation and popularization of the monuments. The president of the committee of ICOMOS, Stefan Belishki, is also impressed by the results of the restored murals.
Господин Левентис наистина за първи път вижда завършена реставрацията на стенописите.
Mr. Leventis saw the restoration finished for the first time and expressed his admiration directly and naturally. He was really amazed. He said that they were magnificent and he was impressed by the level of professionalism. For us, this is a great pleasure. The colleague who managed the restoration team is one of the most established names in our country. So, as a part of the organization covering the period of restoration, ICOMOS, I am very pleased with the result.
Този период на реставрация с ICOMOS, съм много щастлив от този резултат.
No, it's very nice. The church is very nice and very old. My husband was saying that it's very impressive that the wood is still good after all the rains and after all the bad weather and so on and so forth.
It was beautiful. Yes, it was exquisite. Yes, yes, very much. The paintings were beautiful.
The list of activities of Leventis doesn't end here. What comes next is funding the restoration project of St. John the Baptist Church and a future project for strengthening the construction of St. Archangels Michael and Gabriel Church built in the 13th century.
Ние обсъждаме от доста време възможността за
We are discussing the possibility to funding the restoration of St. Archangels Michael and Gabriel Church for a long time. There is a project prepared. The preliminary project made with assistance of the foundation and a working one with assistance of the Nesebar municipality. This church is in danger, the construction is severely damaged and is at a high risk of self-destruction. This was one of the reasons for us to focus on it in the past 2-3 years. Now we go there with Mr. Leventis to show him the conditions and to discuss with Professor Bakirtsis some details of the project, hoping that the funding will be soon.
Проекта с надеждата, че финансирането ще бъде скорошно.
Paul Leventis saw the condition of the basilica and promised financial support for its strengthening. Specialists already inspected the church to see the damages. Paul Leventis was interested to see the exhibition Nesebar and the Bay on Old Maps, 4th, 19th century, displayed in the emblematic for the town Christ Pantocrator Church, dated from 14th century. The mayor, Nikolai Dimitrov, promised that the president of the foundation would receive a replica of one of the paintings, which gives a new perspective on the history of the millenary peninsula and a clear idea for its place and importance over the centuries. The uniqueness of Nesebar, with its world cultural heritage and the preservation of the antiquity, bring together the effort of a foundation and a municipality.
My last visit was, last visit was I think 3.5 years ago, yes. 3 years ago. I find there has been some progress, definitely. I mean, I think His Honour, the Mayor, has certainly put some discipline in the way the city is managed, the old city. I haven't been to the new city. There are still problems, serious problems, but I think with the will of the government and of the people here, this can be achieved. Progress can be achieved, and we can get to the stage where the state of the city reflects its importance in terms of the culture and background of the country of Bulgaria.
Paul Leventis walked the future tourist route in Nesebar, which will include all the churches. Nesebar municipality managed to receive funding from the European project Faith in Nesebar. With additional financing for its part, 2 other churches in the Old City will be fully renovated: St. John the Baptist and St. Paraskeva.
We think it's an excellent idea, and we've supported it from the time this idea was first suggested, was first mooted. We think, and we need this idea of linking up the old city, the elements of the old city into cultural roots. I think is very important and can certainly attract even more good quality tourism, because that's really what this is all about.
The collaboration between Nesebar municipality and Leventis for preservation of the monuments in the town of UNESCO will continue. Because, as the president and the foundation said, to understand where we are now, we must understand the past.